Welcome back to Destroy the Planet. This song is called Headlights.
This song is I actually wrote this song for a really long time. I sat on this song for a long time. I don't want to say it took me, a decade to write it, but whenever I don't feel right about what I'm writing, I just take a step back or just put it away and come back to it. But this one, kind of a few things triggered what this song is about. First is I was driving lyrically for the song. I was driving from Appleton, Wisconsin to Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
67 Chevelle with the convertible top down, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. I said that too early. Yeah, giving away the plot.
So no, I was driving from Milwaukee to Appleton, Wisconsin, really late at night after a gig
in a Geo Metro.
Yeah. And there was a guy driving the wrong direction. It was a 6-lane highway with the median in the middle, so 3 and 3, and a guy was driving the wrong way, and I was like, man, I bet that guy, had a few. And then I was thinking, wait, what if that's just his way he wants to go? So I had, another 97 miles to go. So I was thinking about this story I had heard when we were kids, that there was this guy who wanted to kill himself, and what his method that he was going to do was hang himself, and he didn't have anything in his house, so he there was a tree in his yard, and he would put a rope over the tree, and every time he was just about to do it, a car would drive by, and he would see the headlights and didn't want them to stop what was going on. So and I guess we heard this when we were kids. I don't know if this is true. They're kind of like urban legend, folklore, or whatever. It seems weird that it would be true, because why would somebody go, repeat that? But I don't know whatever happened to this person. But that was the basis of the song. And I know it sounds grim and whatever, but it's definitely like, so the song is from the perspective of, what if you're in that place? What does that thought process look like? And and that's kind of the song builds that from the beginning all the way to the end, that it's always there's a turmoil, there's a struggle the whole time. As soon as the verse starts, there's a line, and there's a line with a harmony, and it's like you say one thing and then another thing happens. It's like everything's great, everything's bad, everything's left, everything's right. So that's the way it was kind of written, and it's a neat song that it's different than the way I usually write a song. It's a weird tempo. It by definition of music writing, it is a ballad. It doesn't feel ballad all the time. It's the only song that we have that starts with a lead, a guitar, it starts with a lead bass.
Well, yeah, it's the Mike show there in the beginning. I think you referred to it
as.
Which is fun for me. This is a fun tune for me to play. I like this song a lot, and I like the vibe of the bass and how the bass comes through, and the turnarounds that I get to do on the different changes. This is one of the most enjoyable tunes on the record that I think I've played, and I like a lot of them. I like all of them, but this is one of my faves.
Well, and I'm not trying to put words in your guys' mouth here, but I remember that at the first studio we worked with, they didn't like the song at first, and same with Todd was just telling me that 2 weeks ago, is that this wasn't he didn't know how this was going to go, and this is actually one of his favorite songs, and this is not even his genre of choice at all. So I don't remember if you guys mentioned that whether you liked it or not, but it is a different song. It's a different vibe. It kind of gives you a classic rock vibe. But I will say that when I wrote this song, I think I wrote the riff for this one probably 2001 ish, and finished the song. When did we start recording? The 27th of September.
Middle of September.
Yeah, so that's when I finished it. Anyway, it's kind of, I don't want to say a special song, but it wasn't difficult to write. It just took a long time to get those ideas, and it's just kind of a strange way of doing it, of writing a song. You know, typically I'll give it away. I typically write chorus first. Build. You know, I usually start with a riff and then come up with a chorus and then put everything in between. This one, it started with the absolute beginning of the song, and I built it as the song progressed.
The song progresses. Yeah.
Super fun lyrics to write. This is a mouthful of lyrics. This is a short novel.
Well, so I have a big question for you. I've never asked you this until we're on camera here. Do you think so? This song, being what it's about, do the headlights save this person?
Oh yeah,
because it makes him think, and so he, do you think the headlights are kind of like it's society looking at him, going, "Hey, maybe this isn't something you should be doing. Think about your life." You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not.
I know maybe the song's not that deep, but I kind of think that.
I'm not wise enough to know if I understand what somebody who has this turmoil would be dealing with. I wouldn't even pretend that's what I know, but.
Well, that's the beauty of something you said to me when we first started this. You said, I don't know that I write a song thinking it has to mean something, but the beauty of this is that you might, and a listener might, interpret something and see something that we don't, which is exactly the way it should be. That is the way art should roll.
I don't. Yeah, even the songs where I've totally defined what I had in mind. Go ahead and come up with your own. You can make this one about squirrels. I don't care.
I guess the way I look at it is, so there's this person, and it sounds like maybe he's kind of alone or something like that, and there's nobody else, but those headlights are almost his shining light. No pun intended, saying, "Hey, don't do this." We're your friends.
And I agree with you, but I actually I would modify that just a little bit. I think actually I don't know if they're saving him, but they're maybe just for the
prolonging
moment.
it.
Like just this is just gonna happen at a different time. So one thing that I'll say about this is that we have the spoken word part in the middle. That then goes to like a harmony guitar thing before the solo, and I originally didn't have a harmony guitar there. I had another verse, and my verse did conclude the story. And none of my other songs we conclude the story essentially. Most of the songs don't have a beginning and an end. They just it's about this thing.
It's like a snippet of time.
Yeah, and you can then go off with it or not, whatever. But I did have a conclusion to the song, and I decided to not have that in there. It didn't make the song good. It with taking that out, made it so that we don't know what happened.
You can again, you can allow the listener to conclude.
Right. Well, you were going to put the conclusion of the song in the middle where it goes, ba-na-na-na-na-na. So what I like about that part is we kind of consider that the breakdown of the song. And, it's kind of a little bit of tribal drums and stuff, and you're talking about a lot of things. It's almost like this psychological mess that's going on. And then it goes into the ba-na-na-na-na. Originally, the drums were really fast double bass and some really cool stuff, and I absolutely loved it. But then Trent gave me a funny look, and Mike wasn't sure about it, and then I thought about it. I'm like, well, I want to keep this song grounded.
It's profound the way it is now. I think
so. I decided, let's punch this through and let the guitars kind of do the singing. Like, there's no vocals there anymore. So there was, but we took the vocals out. I'm like, well, we need the guitars that kind of almost feel spiritual. So I'm like, let's lay back on the drums. Let's do like some more China kind of stuff and a couple cool drum fills. And now it just really punches through. It almost gives you goosebumps.
Yeah. Another example,
when you hear it.
Another example for songwriters try to serve the song.
Exactly. Like what you had before, it was
super cool.
Yeah, it was performance.
It didn't fit the song.
Right.
Through the whole thing. And it was cool, but it was, to me, like,
it almost made the album. It was that close.
Yeah, that was 13th hour. I mean, we
actually went back. And re-recorded it.
When I say 13th hour, it was like book another session completely.
Just
spend 2.5 hours setting up his drums
for 10 seconds of playing,
and then so 2.5 hours setting up his drums. No, I'm not complaining about you or anything.
But it was just checking mics.
That was like 2.5 hours to get the mics placement. But then we had to play and play
and
play,
make it sound exactly like the album again. Yep.
And it was a different engineer, and it was for me.
Hit this, Tom. Hit
by
the
far the most boring day of my life, but it was so worth it. It was watching paint dry into a better drying paint,
and all I had to do is.
But the original part that you
sounds
had,
great.
The original part you had though is very thunderous, and I thought, like, wait, I think that signals doom, and I didn't want it to. I was like, no.
Well, I think I was still like understanding the lyrics and where everything was going. So where I thought, I was like, okay, we just need chaos right now, but it didn't call for chaos at that moment.
Yeah. And then speaking of chaos, though, this is one of the
solo.
Yeah, this is a fun solo. I am somebody who really does like to write their solo. I like to. It really has served the song, right on. So I definitely like to write things in phrases. I usually write things down on paper and say, like, okay, melody sounds like this. Your solo can be a counter or whatever. And there's some math when it comes to soloing for me, but this one was kind of throw it all away and just do the solo. I think I did the first part of the solo in maybe 3 takes. There is a one adjustment that was made in there, but it was kind of like this song does not need to be super super perfect, because if it's on the verge of falling apart, maybe that serves this person who may be fictional or nonfiction, So, and then what's fun about the solo to me though is that the symbolism for this song is to leave it unresolved, and so you hit the solo and songwriting 101, I keep saying that, but tells you need to go back and do another chorus. Well, this song doesn't really have a chorus. It's just saying, my eyes open wide in the headlights. But so when it comes back into the vocals for the chorus, the solo just keeps going and then the song ends. There is no resolute. There is no, we didn't even resolve the song, let alone the content and the meaning behind it. We didn't even resolve that, hey, this is the end of the song. We just end it. And so I noodled that all the way through. So if you guys are wondering what it sounds like if I just noodle through, that's what that sounds like.
I'm glad you did it, because I'm a big fan in allowing the listener to ultimately resolve what they want to see and hear and think about.
Yeah. I think, this is kind of a driving song too. It's just, it's just,
it's a Route 66
song,
too,
and it's plugging through, but it's got some really climactic solo parts and everything, and it just kind of, the end of it is all solo and everything. There's some really slow, dirgy double bass. Think pistons in a car, so it's kind of kind of a cool driving song. There's solos. It's got a dark theme, but I mean, it's not so dark that you have to be in a bad mood to listen to it. I mean, you can be in a great mood and still enjoy the song.
Yeah.
Again, interesting song to work on. And like I think I mentioned earlier that the 100% of the intent of writing this song was this was be how you would write and how to end an album. Like this is, I knew it from the second I started working on it that it had to be the last song. You wouldn't put this in the middle, like. Like it's not like you want to leave us an album on a downer. It's not a downer. I don't think this is a downer song. I think this is very hopeful of a song. I don't pretend to understand what somebody would like that would be going through, but in my mind, this is somebody working it out, right? And so it's a hopeful way to end your album. But now that we've gone through all the songs, hopefully you understand where we're coming from with these songs is that they all fit together. Like they don't make it. This isn't a concept album. This isn't a rock opera.
There's a thread.
But there's and we kind of go a billion different directions and from a different points of view. But it in my mind. Maybe it won't come across to the, it's like when you paint something, you're like, hey, look at this puppy I did. You're like, well, that's a nice fish, But in my mind, it works to go on repeat. The album works to go on repeat. And sadly, we actually had to redo the order, just because
But not too much.
We moved
just
two.
Tweaked it a little.
We moved two around.
Just to make it flow a little better.
And I was like, ooh, isn't gonna make sense.
But now that you listen, I love the song order. So.
Yeah, I drove around. I
have to be driving.
Yeah, I drove around for like.
if it veers you off the road, then okay, let's switch it up.
I think it was Monday. I drove around for like 2 hours, and I was like, okay, this is the song order that's gonna make sense. And
if you see this video, please comment. But
these are the
late.
things you go through.
Yeah, you can't choose which one.
Sorry, scratch that.
It's locked in.
By the time you see this, it's done.
Yeah, destructive editing is what is happening. You can't change it now. Anyway, no, I just what I'm saying is it makes sense to just go right back to the beginning of the album again and listen to it again, like and it actually story not want to say story wise, but feel wise, it makes sense to start it halfway through and end halfway through. If you like go all the way through to the next half, it always works to go to the next song. Every song works to go to the next song.
Yeah.
And when you're done with this, go back and replay Twisted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You put the whole album on repeat, and it goes right into Twisted, right now, and then it goes.
And then People of Earth, Impending Doom.
So it was really fun to go through these. I like hanging out with you guys, but also it was fun
Cheers.
to go. It was fun to go through all these songs and talk about them. We talk about this stuff all the time. This is what we talk about on the phone.
So this is like us talking on the phone, but we're live.
And you can just see how much Albert and I fight. And
we wrestle.
And then
I'm the referee.
Yeah.
And then how much Mike talks is what you learn through all of this.
It's a Mike show.
Anyway, if anybody watched this, thank you, and I listened to the album. Like I said, we're really proud of what we did, and it took a long time. It took a lot of work, and totally worth it.
We hope you enjoy it.
Once again, thank you again for tuning in to Destroy the Planet TV, where we will see you on the next planet.